I attended 3 of your seminars for your research. And what specialist returns to London a vampire?
From a so-called man of science.
I understand traditionally myth walks among us. The Brotherhood of St. Paul has dedicated its purpose to their study. There's so much for you to... Well, then let me be blunt. Join my staff at Pembroke Hospital. As a physician. I suspect you'll not find a better post of employment to contemplate your predicament.
This is sudden. I was returning home to see my sickly mother. But alas, that was before contracting this... affliction.
Dr. Reed, take a moment to consider. The post would be for the night shift, providing a good explanation for your absence during daylight hours. You'll be adequately reimbursed, and have a place to hide. I even had the forethought to bring some clean clothes. So, what do you say?
It seems I have little choice, but yours is a generous offer, so I thank you.
Brilliant! Oh, Jonathan, this is one for the book, and the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Dr. Swansea, thank goodness. I was beginning to be concerned.
Worry no more, Nurse Crane, for I bring good news.
Oh, Doctor, what a night. We lost 2 more patients. Nurse Scow said she couldn't take it anymore and resigned.
Yes, well, I'll make a new rota in the morning. In the meantime, find a... good bed for Mr. Hampton. Be sure to pay attention to his needs.
Of course, Doctor.
Oh, and Dorothy?
Yes, Doctor?
Dr. Reed here has just returned from the front. He served. We're very lucky to have gained a surgeon of his talent, and one so experienced in blood transfusions.
That is good news indeed, Doctor.
Oh, yes. Here at Pembroke, it's not what we have, but what we haven't. It's only thanks to Nurse Crane and the staff that our ship doesn't sink. If you have any questions, just ask her.
Duly noted. Thank you.
Your assistance is required, Dr. Swansea, immediately.
Welcome aboard, Jonathan. We'll catch up after my rounds. Coming, Nurse Crane. I'm coming.
It's locked.
Come on, you bastard! You can do better than that! Nah, it's my turn!
Rotten bureaucracy. Each heart contains the seeds of life. Drink at this river. Try it all.
Oh, come on, you bastard! I won't bite!
Sir, please. You've lost too much blood. Calm yourself.
You think I didn't notice? Stop your staring and get me to an hospital, you arse!
Insulting a good Samaritan. Not exactly the way to get rescued.
Alright, sorry. I am in pain here. My guts are spilling out onto the street and you're yabbering on.
Yes. That's a very nasty wound you've got there. Take my word, I am a doctor. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Name's Clay Cox. I'd appreciate you helping me to a better place, Doc.
Follow me, Mr. Cox. Let me assist you to that better place.
Bring this fading light into the shadows. Dance with him the dance of life and death.
No more. Not tonight. Not like this. I will not take another life.
Whoa, I feel giddy.
It is wise for the huntsman to sometimes let his prey go, but no famished hunter can run for long.
Good evening, sir.
So it is true. The famous Dr. Reed has joined us. I can't think of any better news during these terrible times.
Do we know each other?
Actually, yes. We met once before, at the Rockefeller University in New York.
Dr. Tippett, yes, I remember. I was assisting Professor Carell in his research about coronary bypasses. He had nothing but praise for you.
He was also very confident about your future. And look at you now. Eminent surgeon and blood transfusion specialist.
What is the Pembroke Hospital situation? And please, speak freely.
This hospital is not exactly the best of London. I'm sure you are used to working in a better environment.
It's not exactly the best situation in London either. I can't have expected this hospital to be prepared for what was to come.
Don't be misled by appearances, Dr. Reed. This hospital does not lack talented people. It just lacks hope.
What can you tell me about the staff in the hospital?
Some are really good, and others are not so good. But during this troubled period, there is no time for slander. I prefer to focus on the positive character traits.
Tell me more about cherished people, then.
Nurse Brannigan is a pearl. She is the most helpful and dedicated nurse I've ever worked with. A clever and cheerful woman.
You really seem to admire her skills.
I'll go even further. If she was a man, she would be a damn fine practitioner.
Any opinion about the management?
I don't always agree with Dr. Swansea's reserve, but I must admit he does all he can to keep this facility running during this crisis.
Ah, yes, the burden of command. I was fed up with this concept while serving as a medical officer.
Don't get me wrong. Swansea's a good administrator. I just wish he would get out of his office now and again.
Goodbye, Dr. Tippett.
This is no time for celebrating.
Good evening, nurse. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed, the new surgeon here at the Pembroke.
Dr. Swansea has already told us about you, sir. I'm Nurse Gwyneth Brannigan. Welcome to the Pembroke Hospital.
Did he really? It's a good thing I wasn't hoping to keep a low profile.
All members of staff have already read about your new blood transfusion technique. Dr. Swansea made sure of that.
I see. Well, I'm a little surprised, but I suppose I'll just have to deal with this unexpected notoriety.
You must know, blood transfusions are Dr. Swansea's primary subject of research. He is convinced it is the future.
How are things here?
Not good, to say the least. We're struggling against an invisible enemy, more lethal than any bullet from a gun. It's hard, Doctor.
An invisible enemy? Quite a poetic term for a disease, especially from a nurse.
Sorry, Doctor. These last few weeks have been exhausting. We could all do with a good night's sleep.
Do you think this hospital can survive the epidemic?
We are all volunteers here, and we're trying to hold fast, but how do we beat an invisible killer? Some nurses have already resigned.
I'm not familiar with all the staff yet. Perhaps you could help me.
Brilliant professionals, most of them. Dr. Swansea has a gift for recruiting talent.
Most of them. Is there a problem I should know about, nurse?
It would be inappropriate for me to speak ill of a colleague.
Is there anyone that stands out?
Well, I have never met someone as dedicated as Dr. Tippett. He should be a standard for us all here. If only he were younger.
Why should his age be a problem?
I guess it's fair to say he's always pushing himself to the limits. He just doesn't know when to stop and get some rest.
Nurse Brannigan, if you do know something, please tell me. Anything you say will be held in confidence.
No. I may disagree with some conduct, but in the end, everybody is doing their best.
Why does Dr. Tippett claim you're the main reason he keeps working, despite his fatigue?
If it wasn't for him, I probably would have left the Pembroke years ago.
Dr. Tippett does not think of you as just a nurse anymore, does he?
If you're suggesting he's not taking my gender into consideration, I really hope he doesn't.
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
I have patients to attend.
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
Do you require medical assistance, nurse?
Thank you for your concern, but I'm fine.
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance. Scowl voices in the garden. I should investigate. If they were to find somebody.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed. Always a pleasure to meet a colleague, sir. Especially when he was supposedly dead.
A colleague? Are you a doctor too?
Not anymore, sir. I used to be Dr. Rakesh Chadana. Now, I'm just Mr. Chadana, pawnbroker and humble guardian of this morgue.
What do you mean, you used to be a doctor? Was your license revoked?
No, sir. It is just that I like to be precise. I run a little pawn shop while taking care of the dead. But I used to be a real doctor.
Are you afraid or uneasy being surrounded by so many corpses?
Why should I? These bodies are empty vessels. Flesh left to decay. Poof. No soul anymore. All gone.
An interesting point of view. And quite an exotic one, too. Most people fear, or at least have a respect, for dead flesh.
Sir, as a medic during the war, I learned to face my death and the death of others. It's the pain we have to tame, not death itself.
How did you get this job?
After I left the army, I worked as an undertaker down by the docks. A dangerous place with many an unpleasant business there. Milton Hooks helped me get a job here.
Have we met before?
I don't think so, sir. Why?
When we first talked, you said you were glad to meet me since I was reported dead.
Funny story, sir. Your sister came here a few nights ago. You were missing, and she was looking for your body. She must be very relieved now.
Do you work here alone?
Yes, very easy work, sir. All I have to do is watch a few bodies. The situation was very different when the main morgue was still open.
Why do you have to watch these bodies?
Because these poor fellows have no names. We keep them in case someone comes looking for the missing. Sadly, very rarely happens.
Why close the hospital's main morgue?
It was for sanitary reasons after the beginning of the epidemic. Cadavers had to be moved to the nearest mass grave.
A pawnbroker? I expect you get all...
Yes, sir. All kind of...
Who comes here to trade with you? It's very...
I'm very cautious, sir.
What kind of...
With the quarantine, it's not always easy to buy.
Since you're not afraid of dying, do you believe in life after death, Rakesh?
No. I believe we must do all the good we can while alive. For our time is short, and the obstacles are endless.
Do you think you would enjoy immortality as a concept?
I don't think so. Don't mistake me. I love life, and I'd like to live a long life. But everything has to decay, sir. Even goodwill.
Do you really believe goodwill cannot last?
As I said, sir, everything decays. If I was to never die, goodness, I would be bored or work.
Quite depressing, wouldn't you say?
Yes, but the good news is, we'll all die before losing our humanities.
So you're ready to die?
No, I am not. I do...
You're a wise man.
No, Dr. Reed. I am a foolie.
Do you need medical attention?
I'm feeling all right, Doctor.
Please show me what you have to sell.
Of course. It's just trinkets and cure... Never ceases to amaze me how you, the dead, seem peaceful and lost at the same time.
Good evening, Dr. Tibbets.
Dr. Reed,
Do you need any medical assistance?
come on.
You're exhausting yourself, Corcoran.
No. We must keep on healing all...
Nurse Brannigan is...
She should not have told you that.
You don't have to blame her.
I'm not that kind.
You're
No.
Nurse Brannigan, you don't have to... Goodbye, Dr. Tibbets. Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doc.
Goodbye, Nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
Doctor, where have you been? I've little time to play hide and seek.
I found a wounded man by the docks. He answers to...
Already making the rounds.
Thank you, Nurse.
Dr. Swansea insisted we provide you a quiet office.
Thank you. Nurse...
Yes, Dorothy Crane. Welcome to Pembroke Hospital.
I would like to ask a few questions first. And Mr. Hampton, the patient we brought...
I gave him a sedative to help him sleep.
What kind of man is Dr. Swansea?
Well, you accepted the job from him. I thought you...
It's right to assume Dr. Swansea...
You'll get to know him soon enough, and better than me.
Apologies. If you could point me in the...
Second floor of the hospital, left after the stairs.
Thank you, Nurse Crane.
We have no effective treatment for this influenza. We are.
Good evening, sir. I've
already heard about you, Dr. Reed. I'm Milton.
That's quite a blunt introduction.
You can call me Milton. I like to speak my mind.
I'm not sure I understand.
Well, I'm no doctor, but I'm pretty...
You have a keen eye. I learned...
No need to explain, Dr. Reed.
How is the situation?
You want to hear...
Are you really?
And why not?
But you're not...
You keep it...
So what...
I've been...
Since...
It's a...
It sounds...
Yesterday.
You left...
Go there, you...
I have some good...
What?
I retrieved your wallet.
Well, yeah, Pippa Hawkins is my girl.
Not at all, Milton.
Good. Please, take this money anyway.
What's going on between...
Pippa's tired. Tired of all this shit.
During the war...
Maybe you're...
You do...
Come on, Doc.
I'd like to...
Wise choice, Doctor.
Must prove what we are capable of.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Please show me what you have to say.
Of course.
These men, they're a company of professional vampire hunters.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Tell me why you're
If a patient wants a bed.
Where did you get the idea?
Funny you should ask. The first time it was...
Goodbye, Milton.
Dr. Swansea is right. This place seems perfect to conduct my research.
Disgust on every street corner.
Good evening, miss.
Your name has no meaning to me.
I beg your pardon.
What are you begging for, mortal?
You keep calling me mortal.
Well, Dr. Reed.
Do you require my...
I have no need for your...
I must...
It's only...
Who are... The star...
I'm not...
I see.
Thank you.
And why do you...
I don't need to believe anything.
Please, describe to me.
I can hear my body crumble from the...
I see.
Never?
It's...
Delusional, you say? Oh, sad and petty.
Who are you really, Miss Hammond?
Is that not enough for you, puny?
I'm curious to know...
No, it was such a long time ago, I don't remember.
I'll leave you. Good evening, nurse.
Good evening.
And I'm Doc...
Well...
Do you need medical...
I'm fine.
How would you...
It's...
You must... Nurse...
I wish...
How long?
Or long in...
You'd be... How is...
Well, not well.
Why is Milton?
Milton's not the kind of man who's bothered about a bad reputation.
Why does Milton...
I don't know.
Pepper, I know you're very close...
Yes? Milton.
I have no intention of reporting you.
The rules say I won't be allowed to work.
Is he worth...
Hey, I'm no perfect...
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins. It's locked. Thelma Howcroft said she was being watched by vampire hunters. Where are they hiding? I should investigate. Good evening, sir.
Unless you're...
I'm Dr.
You guessed.
How is your stay with...
Oh, it's...
Can I ask...
It's the pain.
Can I do it?
Nurses gave me a bunch of pills.
Who is treating you?
Nobody since the old and tired doctor spoke.
You don't see
my face.
Where we...
No, if you were...
How close are you to Miss Hawcroft?
To wait for her next nibble is the...
Aren't you afraid? She may hurt you.
She's quite harmless, I can assure you.
So do you let her bite you?
And why not?
She could
And it's another...
You do realize she's...
In her madness...
How is your stay with her?
Oh, it's...
Can I ask?
It's the...
Goodbye for now.
Disgust on every street corner.
Good evening, Mr. Hampton.
Dr. Reed, is it?
What do you mean?
I was not myself in the factory.
You remained perfectly...
Thank you, Doctor. That's a relief.
Do you know Tom Watt?
Tom?
People are still...
How could it be?
Who should...
Not...
How did you end up in...
I had received alarming...
Why did he...
William Watt...
You dared to enter...
I'm just a man.
What is the general...
The situation...
Who leads...
Since Clay...
As the gang...
And...
How do you...
I feel...
You're in good...
Thank you.
What do you do?
I manage...
Are you a...
Not at all.
Why didn't you use your cross against William Bishop? To repel him somehow?
That's a very strange question, Doctor.
Have you made friends?
Not really. But I recognize Miss...
You never came to see her here.
You're preaching to the...
Goodbye, Mr. Hampton. Good evening, Mr. Elwood.
Evening.
Soldier, do you need...
I'm fine. Just do something for this pain, will you? That's all I'm asking.
Goodbye for now.
Disgust on every street corner. The daily routine.
Good evening, nurse.
Good evening.
Do you need...
I'm fine.
Goodbye.
You always knew the words to calm the children, Ellen. As for me, I'm a lovely idiot.
What can I do for you?
Thank you. Good evening.
Reed,
does my...
Let us just...
If you have a
Dr. Swan...
I know we...
Oh.
There isn't...
That is...
Since you...
Let's just...
Carelessness.
We're here...
I don't...
Modern...
I don't know what...
I don't...
And what...
I said...
Be careful.
I only...
This is
You see...
It seems...
I refuse...
We cannot... Thank you for your...
As for me, what a blundering idiot.
Good evening, sir.
I
see.
I'm Harvey.
Is there anything else?
I'm all right.
Are you...
Well,
I won't...
Are you sure?
In others... Tell me...
I'm a...
Tell me about the doctors.
Strickland and Aykroyd.
What do you mean?
I often had professional...
You seem worried about the safety of your...
I cannot give up on my children.
What about their mother?
She died in 1915 during one of the first Zeppelin.
Tell me more about the...
1915.
What happened? How are you...
They were small.
I'm sorry for your loss.
I would like to...
Goodbye for now, Miss...
Sweet girl. Reads me like a book. I never could keep anything from her.
Good evening, Doctor.
Dr. Reed, I am throat.
Do you need my...
You don't have to worry about me, Doctor.
Please, could you...
I'm a...
What may... It's...
This epic...
I beg...
I'd rather...
As long as you're cautious and...
You're not the first...
What can you...
Well, it...
You see... Questions were true. Do you need help with it?
Well, yes, maybe.
Do you want me to play the errand?
Oh, no, Dr. Reed. But if you went personally to his shop...
I see. Well... What do you think of Dr...
It's a shame he's so narrow-minded.
With the influenza and all the...
I believe that if Dr. Aykroyd had been the one...
So you believe it's just a...
Dr. Aykroyd is...
Tell me more about your willingness to...
Harvey Fiddick is a patient suffering from a severe...
What is it you really want?
Fair question.
This person...
I agree.
Do you think...
All I...
Tell me...
Well, first,
but why would...
Because he is...
Goodbye, Doc. Good evening, Mr. Fitz.
Good evening.
Tell me about your injury.
My wife died because of me.
How could your...
I was working...
You can't...
Of course.
Are you sat where I were?
Are you sure?
In others... Tell me, I was... Tell
Strict what I...
Goodbye for now.
Always knew the words to calm the children, Helen. As for me...
Good evening,
I need blood.
Tell me. Do you plan...
Of course.
Would you say...
No.
I'll leave you. Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doc.
Why do you have such a meaty...
Fuck them. No, but...
I know.
I've seen...
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'd like to...
Wise choice, Doc.
And more determination.
I know I can count. I wish I could say the same.
You look exhausted. You're pushing yourself too hard. You don't have to bear the...
Good evening, nurse.
Good evening.
Do you require...
Thank you.
Goodbye, nurse. Good evening, Doctor.
Doctor...
Goodbye.
At least that mistress of the house.
You are going to reveal all your secrets to me. Thoughts in your heart.
My blood and soul. They belong to you now.
The life running in your veins.
It's locked, all right.
Not now.
This must be the place. It's definitely away from prying eyes. Relegated to the shadows. A kingdom of my own. At least I won't be sleeping in a coffin. The flower's dying. It needs water. William Bishop's blood is much more unstable than human blood and shows extensive mutation. But this is not what happened to me. I must keep on searching. The sun is about to rise. I can feel it. I'll continue tomorrow night. I have so much time now. If I'm to stay here until my research is complete, I'd better learn to hide my true nature from the mortals. But what about my thirst for blood?